UFC San Antonio. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Main event, Chito Vera versus Cory Sandhagen. We're going to look at each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Also, full card fight companion, 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Make sure you tune into that live stream. And let's get into our first fight of the night. Starts off, Vinicius Salvador versus Victor Altamirano. So I have been picking the Victor Altamirano side throughout the week. I do think he's going to be able to land some takedowns here. I'm not overly sold on Salvador's striking. I think he's a little bit reckless and makes some mistakes that Altamirano can capitalize on. So I am riding Altamirano win decision. As far as the scales, I will bring up the face-offs here. Around the whole internet, no one had the official weigh-in images listed out. So I did screenshot some key ones, and I have the face-off for each one of the matchups. Here, I have the face-off to start it off. It's Altamirano with Salvador right in his face. As far as the size differential, nothing much. Salvador, to me, seemed very animated and intense, and I didn't like the look. Almost a bit of worry with Altamirano very relaxed on the other side. Mexican fighters very durable. I believe Salvador is going to be looking to land power strikes, and he's going to find a guy who can eat his best shots, come back better, and I think Altamirano wins. Potentially a TKO on the ground for Altamirano or even a sub, but I am leaning that decision side. I'm not going to stray away from my official method of victory prediction, but I think money line betting wise would be your best option here. Now, as far as the scale, I do have a picture of Salvador that I felt was urgent to bring up. Let's look at Salvador here. First thing, he looks like he's a meth addict in this picture. Holy shit. That looks insane. He's so thin. He's so deflated. I don't know what the hell that haircut is. What I see in Salvador is a guy who's losing. I don't see him winning this fight. My confidence on Altamirano after the weigh-ins now, amplified. I don't like how Salvador looks at all. I think he lost a lot of weight, rough weight cut on him, and he just mentally seems like deranged almost, going crazy. I like a little bit of calmness in my fighters. He's too animated. I think he's going to go out there and be a bit reckless and end up losing the fight. So we're going with Altamirano to get the win. As far as the betting lines, Altamirano is slight dog money, around plus 105. And then Salvador around minus 115, the favorite. I do think we go over a round and a half, minus 175. I think that's a quality play. I think we go a bit longer here. Like I said, original prediction was decision for Altamirano. That sits at plus 275. It's not impossible he gets a stoppage win. If you are thinking he's going to get a stoppage, inside distance is better at plus 305 because there's a chance he could TKO a reckless Salvador, which is upwards of plus 700, and definitely a shot that Salvador goes wild on him, maybe gasses, and Altamirano subs him plus 500. So inside distance, maybe as a prop value-wise, win by a decision, also sitting there at plus 275. It's a good tag. I don't know. I don't like the props in this one all that much. For some weird reason, I feel more pushed towards the inside of the distance over the win by decision if I was to prop it up, but I'm thinking no on that. I like money line at plus money for Altamirano, and I really like that over 1.5 at around minus 175. Good play here for this matchup. Same side as far as the pick goes. It's Altamirano to win with amplified confidence. I don't like how Salvador looks, and I don't think any of you can either. That doesn't look like this Salvador on Tapology here. It looks like Salvador's been doing fucking methamphetamine. He looks like he had a rough weight cut, even at the official weigh-in. So like I said, he seemed crazy. He seems too amplified. I don't like that nervous energy. I don't know. Maybe he's planning on blitzing, going crazy. Maybe he has an injury, so he's trying to intimidate Altamirano. Some things I'm not liking. Altamirano to get the win. I see it. W for him on his side. Let's go. Altamirano starting things off. The first pick of the card. Let's keep running. Next matchup was CJ Vergara and Daniel da Silva. Official pick has been CJ Vergara all week. How can I pick Daniel da Silva again? The guy is reckless as they come, and his durability is super questionable. I don't question Vergara's durability. I also don't see Vergara as a super dangerous and powerful striker either, but he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist with good pressure fighting, and I do think he can beat Daniel da Silva on the ground, on the feet. I think like De Silva's flashier and has a little more explosiveness. But unless he gets Vergara out in the first 3 minutes, he doesn't win. And let's be honest, Daniel De Silva, if you saw the face-offs, if you haven't yet, you're going to see a picture of it here. He was, very animated at weigh-ins, very intense. But on the other side, as was Vergara. Thing is I know Vergara is a fighter who can pace himself. We have never seen that with Daniel De Silva. There's De Silva and him face-to-face. You see a little bit of a height edge towards the side of Daniel De Silva. It's really not much. There's nothing crazy to take away from the physicality difference. Both guys in good shape, lean, ripped, ready to fight, on weight for the flyweight division. Thankfully, Vergara made weight, and you knew he was happy as hell at those official weigh-ins. As far as the ceremonials, a lot of intensity. But that shows me Daniel De Silva, I think, is going to come out reckless again. That's just his style. How's he going to change? He's not. And I think he loses. I'm going to say Vergara TKOs him. I think he's getting it done. Another win for Vergara in the UFC, and De Silva, 0-4 in the Octagon's probably getting the walking papers with an L here. So Vergara odds. Minus 225. It's a wide tag. De Silva, other side, plus 220. I like the CJ Vergara side a lot. I think he's getting it done. Over a round and a half, plus 170. I don't like the overs. I don't even love the under here. I do think it probably is under, but I don't like it all that much. I think Vergara could be a potential parlay piece or, a money line attack if that's what you're feeling. Inside of the distance for Vergara, minus 200 at Bet Online. I do think that's the method of victory, though. TKO, to be more specific, not a good tag either. Minus 140. We don't got good lines here. I doubt he gets the sub. It's plus 1,200. I'd lean Vergara by TKO way more than sub. I mean, there's a Hail Mary value side that you can attack, but ultimately, it ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't happening. I don't see it. No, we're going to say win, Vergara, TKO, and Daniel De Silva, too reckless. The odds, though, wide, minus 225. Vergara is more of a parlay piece than a straight money line, in my opinion, but he really should get this thing done. I see him beating Daniel Da Silva. Let's keep running up the card. Next matchup. Trevin Giles, Preston, Parsons, throwing down all week. I have been towards the Giles side, but I acknowledge Preston Parsons not an easy out. Both guys, very good shape on the scales. Ready to fucking come and fight. Giles, former 85er, looks really good fighting at 170 now. I think this was a good move for his career. He doesn't look to be completely drained. I mean, he looked pretty decent on the scales. I'll bring up the face-off for this matchup here because I don't think there's any substantial moments for either of them that are like of concern as far as the official, weigh-ins go. But there's the face-off. Let's look at it here. Thickness in the back from Preston Parsons, which he is a good wrestler. But he's fighting a guy that naturally is bigger. So I think pure strength. Parsons is a little stronger, but I think much explosiveness advantage and a much of a speed advantage toward the side of Giles. Striking, I like Giles better. In the wrestling department, Parsons and him, I think, are competitive. So I see this being a close type of matchup that goes all three. It goes long. Giles, the pick still to win a decision. I think he beats the dangerous Preston Parsons here. Yeah, I like Giles to win. Listen, Trevin Giles is a pretty good fighter. He's got some good wins. He's getting some consistency back. You know what I'm saying? He's got some big W's. And then, when's the last time he fought? 6 months ago. The Kosei fight was iffy. That was his, comeback to 170. He's fighting at 85 throughout the UFC. And then, he drops to 70. He fights now at Preston Parsons. I think that Giles can win this thing. But it's not an easy fight. Giles and Parsons are pretty much even Stevens as far as the lines go, around minus 115 Giles, minus 101 best value Parsons. It's even Stevens essentially, and it's a pick'ems fight. I believe it's a very close matchup. I think over 2.5 might be a misread by the bookies here at plus 155 because I do think there's a good chance these guys are going the distance, and I'll pick win by decision Giles officially. Do not like this prop, but I will read it off. Plus 510, which is great value if you played Giles by a decision. But, I'm just not crazy about propping this one up. But I do probably think the winner of this fight's getting it done on the cards. I'm surprised to see the over so juiced. So, yeah, over 2.5, maybe a sneaky play. I like Trevin Giles to win. But, pick'ems fight for a good reason. So maybe not the best fight to throw all your cash at if you're looking to bet. But to pick Trevin Giles to get the win, I think he'll be a little bit faster in the striking, competitive in the grappling, and win a hard-fought decision over a dangerous Preston Parsons on the come-up. Let's keep running. Steven Peterson versus Lucas Alexander. Okay, so the pick has been Steven Peterson all week. Neither of these guys look bad on the scales. Neither of them was overly impressive on the scales. Pretty status quo. Like, you could tell they both cut some fucking weight for this matchup. The pick is still Steven Peterson to get the win. I think that he's going to bring a lot of pressure to Lucas Alexander. Method of victory, I've been torn. I said TKO earlier in the week. I could also see him win a decision, but Peterson to get the win is how I'm still feeling after seeing these guys face off. I'll bring up the face off right here in just a second. All right, let's get this thing on screen. Here it is. There's the face off. I mean, you know, status quo. I don't know. Like, it's a fight, man. I think this is a fairly competitive fight. Alexander has really good striking offense, but I'm concerned about the defense. I know we got toughness on the side of Peterson and like a relentless pressure fighter that ain't going to break with big shots landing on him. And I think more likely Alexander is broken than Peterson, who's got a fuckload of fights at this point. I mean, Alexander's 7-3, Peterson 19-10. That is nearly triple the fight experience. And Peterson's been in there with good fighters in the UFC, and Alex Caceres fight. Julian Erosa split decision. I mean, there's names on the resume that he's been with. So, yeah, I'm going to go Peterson to win this thing. I'll say he takes it. I said TKO. Am I still feeling TKO? Not as much, but I do think he could get a stoppage here. Steven Peterson to win, though. So, money line, -145 for Peterson. Alexander, +138. I like that Steven Peterson side. Don't really like the overs. Don't really even like the props. But Peterson by TKO value-wise, not a bad idea. +800. I think you can get a TKO here. And at +800, that's crazy to me. I feel like the bookies are considering this to be just a kickboxing fight. Peterson could get a ground and pound stoppage of a tired Alexander in the third round. So, yeah, TKO is a Hail Mary prop for sure at +800. The official prediction, Steven Peterson to get the W here. And you know what? For the odd's sake, let's call it TKO. But I definitely could see a decision as well. Peterson getting the hand raised over a tough striker in Lucas Alexander. Fun fight. Next fight on the card, it brings us to our featured prelim of the night. It's Daniel Pineda versus Tucker Lutz. Earlier in the week, I picked Tucker Lutz. After the face-offs, after the weigh-ins, let's just say something is telling me the other side might be the A side. Let's look at this face-off here. There's Pineda and Lutz facing off. Nothing about Lutz, has ever screamed incredible to me, whereas Pineda has had incredible career moments. There's the face-off. I mean, Pineda's not young. He's not in his prime, but he's fighting a guy that I don't think does anything great. He's a good, well-rounded fighter, but Pineda's a fucking killer, man. I'm going with the pit, Daniel Pineda. I'm flipping the pick. We're going the Pineda side. He's also really big dog money, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me, considering Tucker Lutz's UFC career. I'm not overly impressed. Pineda around +225, upwards of +245. Lutz at -270. Pineda's been out a while, but Lutz is a nasty wide favorite. And for a guy that's not, Kevin Aguilar, Sherrod Blackledge, Chase Gibson, come on. Name me somebody that Daniel Pineda wouldn't also fuck up. Pat Sabatini? I could see Sabatini maybe beating a Pineda. He's good on the floor, and he out-grappled the fuck out of Lutz. Daniel Pineda's no easy fight, man. I know he's a journeyman, 27-14. He's got a lot of fights overturned because he popped for, high testosterone levels or whatever over in the Professional Fighters League. I think he can beat Tucker Lutz here. So I'm going to go Daniel Pineda. Kind of thinking maybe knockout. Could see him winning a ground and pound TKO or a submission. Listen, Pineda's straight finish every time. We're going to call TKO, though. I'm going Pineda to win via TKO. I think the money line attack is the A side, but if you're looking, oh, fuck, do I want to throw something else down, right? Oh, fuck, do I want to go TKO +750? Sub, less likely in my opinion, also can be found at plus 750. But inside distance, Pineda is upwards of plus 350. But Pineda to get the win. And I do want to actually bring up the face-off, or not, excuse me, not the face-offs, the official weigh-in. I got screenshots of these guys officially on the scale because really I wanted to show you Pineda, and MMA Junkie for some reason this week was lacking with the quality. I don't know. They got 240p cameras out there. I don't know. Somebody's using like a 2010 cell phone or some shit. But there's Pineda right there. I mean, he looks in pretty great shape at 37, shredded, jack, ripped. Whoo, shit. He looks good. On the other side, let's bring up his opponent. Let's bring up his foe, Tucker Lutz, and let's look at him. There is Lutz, looks shredded, ready to rock. So both guys are in good shape at 37. I think Pineda's a better fighter. He's a killer. I like Daniel Pineda. I'm going to stick with, I guess I'm going to flip to Daniel Pineda, but I'm sticking with that instinct. Like all week I said, the weigh-ins are going to tell me so much about this fight. And Daniel Pineda didn't look old. He didn't look soft. He didn't look weathered. He didn't seem to be lacking confidence. He seems ready. He seems like Daniel Pineda. And I'm saying he is ready. And he's winning as a big underdog. I think he's a tremendous play as a dog. And stay tuned for the parlay section, and you're going to hear his name. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. All right. Chidi Njokuani versus Albert Duraev. The pick is Chidi Njokuani. Pre-weigh-ins, I was originally calling Njokuani the lock of the week. I still feel pretty confident that he wins this thing against Duraev. I don't think Duraev's going to have the strength to hold him down, even though Duraev is a pretty decent wrestler. I think he's an overrated wrestler. I don't think he's got the stand-up to match Chidi's kickboxing and Muay Thai. Yeah, Chidi Njokuani's going to work him here, and I think Njokuani's solid on the floor, too. I like Chidi Bang Bang. I'm a fan of his style. I'm a fan of his frame, too. He's got some advantages over, Duraev here, a.k.a. Great Value Khamzat Chimaev. Let's pull up the official face-off between these two savages. There it is. Njokuani looking tall as fuck. Duraev, bit shorter. I think that'll aid Njokuani to some clinch defense because I know Duraev wants this fight on the floor. Njokuani striking is going to fuck him up. I've been going Njokuani TKO. I still can see that. I can see him landing some significant strikes and stopping a Duraev. Could also see him winning on the cards by a decision. I like Chidi Bang Bang to win. I like the money line side of Chidi. He's sitting at around minus 150. On the opposite side, Duraev at plus 140. Yeah, I like Chidi Bang Bang. I'm not overly sold on his opponent, Duraev. I feel like he's not it. He's not beating Chidi. Over 1.5 minus 100, I think has a pretty fair shot to come through. And then Njokuani TKO, not valuable enough at plus 125. Not interested in playing it. Njokuani by decision is plus 500. I mean, there is a chance he could get a decision. But yeah, props on this one I don't love. Over 1.5, I don't think is bad. Chidi money line is the money play. And I think he's going to win against Albert Duraev. I'm going to call a TKO win for Chidi Bang Bang. Not great value on the TKO, though. But I like the chances of Chidi stopping Great Value Khamzat, a.k.a. Albert Duraev, who I'm not trying to really... I'm shitting on him hard, but he's not a bad fighter. I just think Chidi's better, and I'm a big Chidi Njokuani fan. So, obviously, I got to bash the opponent just a little bit. Let's get to the next fight on this card. Oh, this one's going to be fucking incredible. Alex Perez versus Manel Kape. All week, I've been picking Manel Kape. And my confidence after weigh-ins fucking amplified a good amount. Because Alex Perez, he looked like a fucking zombie. I don't know. I'm going to pull this up, and you guys are going to agree with me. I got a picture of him on the scale first, and then we'll pull up the actual face-off, all right? I know this. You say, oh, well, it's just the angle. No. The whole time, Alex Perez's eyes are wide open like there's nothing functioning up top. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. He looks zombie-like. It seems like it was a hard weight cut to 25. His eyes look just completely glossed over and gone. He seems like he's been struggling on the scale. Holy shit. Alex Perez looks like a fucking zombie. You can say, oh, he's just staring intensely. I don't know, man. I don't like the way he looked. And even when they were doing the face-off, they got into it with one another, right? You can see here, Manel Kape puts his arm over Alex Perez, and then Perez, like, shoves him off. But even there, like, Perez just, he seems lackadaisical. He seems like he's half out of it. I don't like the chances for Perez, man. I think Manel Kape's going to knock him out. Yeah, I'm actually feeling Kape via violence. Looking at the losses, 7 months ago, Pantoja quickly beat him. Then it was 2 years ago. A lot of canceled fights, a lot of injuries. And I'm hearing in the face-off, there's some bullshit and banter. Manel Kape saying something to Perez. Oh, I heard about your stitches in camp. I got people in your camp. I know. Oh, I know about your injury, which that right there is concerning. But I think it's true because Perez looked like stunned. Yeah, I don't think Alex Perez is a shot. I think the Kape's going to fuck him up. So, Manel Kape win, the star boy. I'm calling it by knockout. As far as the betting lines for this fight, Kape's a wide favorite at -175, but he deserves 2-1 odds, especially with the potential for an injury being in play with Perez. And as bad and awkward as he looked at the weigh-ins, I don't like Perez's chances here. He looks, I don't know, he looked like a shot fighter. Like, we'll find out in the cage. Maybe he brings the heat, but I'm not liking the body language. I'm not looking the eye. I'm not liking the eyes. I'm not liking anything. +170, Perez. I don't think he's got a shot. I'm going Manel Kape to win. Let's go for, let's see, Kape by KO +200. I do think there's a chance he gets a stoppage. It'd be wild if he got a sub at +505. Definitely Perez submission vulnerabilities, but against dangerous Brazilian grapplers. Yeah, Kape's got this fight. Confidence in Kape has jumped way up. Confidence in Kape is jumping way the fuck up. Holy shit. After the weigh-ins, another one that the confidence is just amplified. I think Kape's got this thing. I think he's getting a finish. Going to be a violent fight between these two savages. I'm pretty excited for it. Manel Kape to get the win. Actually, I want to read off one more line. I want to see what the under 2.5 is. Under 2.5, it's expected at around -170. But I do think we're going under. Kape's getting the win. I think Kape by knockout. He's beaten Perez in this one. And I think Kape's a contender, man. A real contender after this win. This is a huge one. Next fight, Andrea Lee versus Maycee Barber. I have been picking Maycee Barber throughout the week. I do think it's a competitive fight. I see Maycee outworking her. Lee's pretty dangerous with the Muay Thai. She's well-rounded as fuck. This is no walk in the park for Maycee Barber. I see this as a competitive 3-round fight. And I think Maycee Barber's going to get her hand raised after a hard-fought 3 rounds. As far as the face-offs here, let's bring them up. Let's check them out. Let's check them out. Let's see. All right. Where's Maycee at? Boom. Maycee Barber a little bit shorter. Andrea Lee got that height edge. Nothing substantial about the frames. I mean, Maycee Barber got a nice haircut. I like the new style she's got. She got some layers to her hair, little waves to it. Andrea Lee looks, pretty status quo. Looks kind of psychotic, like she's ready to kill, which I think is a good thing. I see this as a fucking dogfight, which the competitiveness of this matchup really gets me excited about the over 2.5 because Maycee Barber's money line is quite wide at -235, and Andrea Lee had great moments against Viviane Arujau. Andrea Lee's last fight was a loss, but, a good performance in loss. +225, Andrea Lee. Maycee Barber, more than a 2-1 favorite. I do see her winning. Over 2.5, man. -240, over 2.5. I think we're going long. Barber to win by a decision. The official method of victory prediction is a shit line, too, at +105. Just give me that over 2.5, just in case some crazy shit happens with the fucking scorecards, especially as, wide of a favorite as Maycee is. I would rather throw down on that over. So over 2.5 rounds, win, decision, Maycee Barber. Fucking good fight. I'm excited for Maycee. I think she's still got contendership potential. Featured bout of the night is a junkyard dog scrap between two fucking savages, Nate Landwehr and Austin Lingo. Listen, the pick has been Nate Landwehr all week, but I got to hype up Austin Lingo because I like Lingo. I picked him over Ricardo Ramos. I thought he was going to bring the heat with the hands to Ramos and probably stop him in that fight. Ramos missed weight, was definitely not ready, and I do think Lingo would have fucked him up. But now you throw Lingo, a guy who's got as much dog in him as he does, but I think a bit better. More experience, has been fighting around the fucking world. M1 comes over to the UFC fighting some savages. And the only weakness Nate Landwehr has is when you knee him in the face. I don't see Lingo landing that knee. So I'm going to pick Nate Landwehr to win. I think we're going to get an incredible back and forth dogfight between these two. I do want to pull up the scales and check these savages out here. Where's our guy? Actually, rather the face-offs, not the scales. All right. Boom. There we go. Let me shrink it down a little bit. Yeah, I think Nate Landwehr wins. Kind of feel like it's going to be a 3-round back-and-forth banger type of fight. I could see a TKO for Landwehr, though, for sure. But a dogfight will ensue. this could be the fight of the night. I think there's a real chance. Like, if I had to say what's going to be fight of the night, looking at all of these matchups as far as like a true brawl, this would be it. The pick is Landwehr, and he shines in these type of matchups. I think this is a great fight for him. He's around minus 192. Best value is the favorite. Lingo's sitting at around plus 180. I do think we're going over a round and a half, which is around minus 165. Over 2.5 is plus money, so they do think there's a finish. The way these guys fight, recklessly and brawler style, somebody could go out. I just have a hard time seeing Landwehr losing this thing to Lingo. Let's say Landwehr by TKO plus 200. Landwehr decision plus 245. I don't know. If I was going to prop it up, I think I'd prop the side of the violence and go for KO. I don't know. As you know what? I'm going to flip the method of victory towards the KO side. I do think decision's possible, so I would say like decision or KO officially here after the weigh-ins, but moneyline Landwehr in a fucking junkyard dog fight that I think goes over 1.5, maybe a third round stoppage, second round stoppage. Let's look. Hold on. Let's see something. Landwehr by TKO in round 3 plus 1,200. Landwehr by TKO in round 2 plus 800. Listen, if you're looking for Hail Marys, let me just, I read them out for you. Maybe. Consider. Maybe, but sprinkle light on those if you're going for those. I think second or third round knockout is possible in a fight where Lingo's going to be bringing the fire and both guys are going to be scrapping. I expect blood. I expect action, and I'm calling it. This right here should be fight of the night. Nate Landwehr to get the win. Let's keep running. Let's get to the co-main event. It's Holm versus Yana Santos, formerly Yana Kunitskaya, who at the weigh-ins, Thiago Santos and her, they have the daughter at the weigh-ins, like the little baby infant daughter, which, I mean, I guess it's cool, but I'm like, yo, you don't got to bring kids in the fight game like that, especially babies. Like, Nate Diaz said something like that. Keep them out the fight game. As far as this fight right here, Holm is my pick to win. I've been picking her all week. Yes, she's 41, but she looks tremendous. I'll pull up the scales. I got an image from Holm actually weighing in so you guys can see the frame that she's bringing to this fight. Because, it's important for the, 40-plus-year-old for me to be able to sell it, right? Holm right there looking shredded as hell. Lean. Look at the sides. Look at everything. Lean, shredded, great shape. Face still looking the same. I think Holly's still in her prime. And Yana just had a baby. I mean, she's got a 1-year-old on stage with her. Maybe not even one. But, I think about a year ago she had a kid. And now you're fighting Holm, one of the best female fighters of all time. I don't care if Holly's 41. I still think she performs well. And I think Holm, unanimous decision in this fight. She's beating Yana Santos. She might even TKO her, but Holly for the win. The money line, Holm. I'm amplified in confidence after seeing Holly on the scale. I do have the official face-off as well, which I am going to bring up right now. And you can look. I mean, one thing we can say about Yana is she looks like, a quarter of an inch taller. I feel like Yana's the, great value Holm. She doesn't have the kickboxing as well, doesn't have the defense, doesn't have the speed, doesn't have the clinch game. Like, she has the skills, but like a lesser version of Holly. She's not as good as Holm. Holm is just better, and Holm's going to prove that. Irene Aldana in the last one knocked out Yana. Holly cleaned up a win over Irene. And, I'm not trying to say MMA math, but you do look at certain matchups and styles. I think Holly picks Yana apart. Even Yana's controversial win over Ketlin Vera. And then you look at Holly, she loses a controversial decision to Ketlin Vera. Holly's a better fighter. She's winning here, and I think she's got another title run in her. She just signed a 6-fight contract. She ain't planning on retiring yet, and I see Holly getting it done here. I'm not counting her out at 41. Yana Santos does not have a shot. I'd be shocked to see Yana win. I'd be actually pretty upset, too. Holm, minus 225, minus 230. Kunitskaya around plus 215. I'm loving the Holm side. The over 2.5 could cash at around minus 265. And then looking at Holm by a decision, I do want to read it off. That sits at terrible line, minus 110. If I was going to play a prop here, I'd actually lean you towards Holly by KO just because I want value over playing a fucking minus one whatever. I'd rather just money line Holm, though. I think she's a good money line piece. I do think you're going to hear her name in the parlays too. Confidence amplified. I do think she could get a TKO, but it's been so long since Holly stopped anybody. So I don't want to, really back that with all that much. I mean, if you wanted to, you said, all right, it's plus 400. I want to try to make 100. Let me throw $25. If you wanted to go light, do something easy. Okay, but don't fucking go ballistic on something that realistically Holly's not doing. I'm going Holly decision win officially, but there is the value prop. Money line. Better off. Holm for the win. let's jump to the main event of the evening. Marlon Chito Vera versus Cory Sandhagen. If you guys haven't, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This fight right here is a true battle of the highest level the bantamweight division really has to offer. These guys are like right there as far as being the champions of the world. You know, obviously, the champ, Aljamain Sterling, quick submission over Sandhagen, and who knows how a Vera fight would go with Aljamain Sterling. It's definitely possible. The winner of this fight sets themselves up for a marquee fight that is probably the title shot. You know, Sean O'Malley's right there, kind of holding that spot. But Vera and O'Malley, too, is a fight that I want to see. Now, as far as the pick, I have been picking Marlon Vera throughout the week. As far as the weigh-ins, I'm going to pull up both fighters officially weighing in, and then I'll also look at the face-offs here. We'll first bring up Cory Sandhagen, the Sandman. Looks normal, status quo with Cory Sandhagen. Long-ass reach, lean frame. He's very good from the outside. We know what to expect from Cory Sandhagen, and that's a high level of fucking skill in the striking department. And, you know, he actually showed some good ground and pound, too, fucking up Song Yadong in the last one. And then on the other side, Chito Vera, who I do think is just a bit nastier than Cory Sandhagen. A big reason I'm picking him as well. And I feel like Chito's ground skills are something we completely sleep on, but he has that edge, I believe, over Cory Sandhagen. If they go to the floor, I would pick Marlon Vera to beat him in a grappling match. Throw some shots in, potentially Marlon Vera on his back strangling him. There's Chito Vera, looking status quo Chito, looks lean, ready to rock. That's Chito Vera right there. That's what we've come to expect. Both guys, no issues with the scales, on weight, on point, looking ready for a fucking scrap with everything on the line. And then an intense face-off as well. Cory Sandhagen keeps his shirt on, shirtless, savage face-off on the side of Vera. He looks like a monster. The Vera side's still the pick. He seems very confident. I believe he can win this fight on the feet, but I also do think he can pull something off if it goes to the floor. I don't know why. Weirdly, I'm getting whispers of a Vera win by rear naked choke, which might just be a crazy take, but it's also possible. Like Vera, I believe, has, let me double check this, but I'm like 80% sure he's got 10 sub wins. Yeah, 10 wins by sub for Chito Vera. Not a ton in the UFC, but still wins by sub in the UFC. Dangerous striker. I would say a more powerful striker than Sandhagen, but Sandhagen's tremendous from the outside. But we got violence, man. It's going to be craziness. I'm picking Chito Vera to win as far as the odds. Chito, underdog money, plus 150. Dog. I'm picking dog. I'm riding with the dog. On the other side, Cory Sandhagen, minus 150. Now, a shitload of over-unders. I do think over 2.5 is fairly likely here at minus 260. I'm seeing like a later stoppage for Chito Vera. Let's see. What's Vera inside of the distance? Earlier in the week, I was thinking decision. I still could see that. I don't know. I'm feeling this vibe of finish. But method of victory is not like what I'm going to advise you guys to go bet. If you're going to bet on it, I think money line's better. Chito Vera, get your plus money. Don't worry about the method of victory. Just worry about backing your guy who you think's going to win the fight. But if we're going to get down to it, all right, you're like, yo, I want to play something. I want value. All right. Vera decision plus 600. That's crazy to me. I could definitely see him winning a decision. Vera inside distance plus 255. I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel it. Weirdly, Vera by sub at plus 710 could be like the sneakiest, craziest attack of all time. I personally am leaning towards staying away from the props. Maybe a light play on Vera sub, but the odds of it are not really all that great. Realistically, Vera to win by knockout or decision, most probable outcomes. But that sub prop, good value. Decision prop, also good value. But the money line, I think, plus money, you take what's given to you right there. That's a nice play on Chito Vera as a dog if you're on the side. He's fighting a guy who's incredibly skilled, but I do think there's more power on the side of Chito Vera. And like I said, I do think he's got the grappling in the back pocket that could surprise a Cory Sandhagen. I'm going Vera to win. I can kind of see a knockout, too, for Chito Vera. So, KO, you know, not a terrible idea, I guess, if you have to prop it up. But, like, be careful with props. Main event fights, and now you're propping it up. Like, this is the most high-level bantamweight strikers really in the game right now. Fighters, period, in the bantamweight division. They're right at the top. I think money line's your better option as far as trying to just, you know, flip a coin on these method of victory picks. But there is big plus money if you feel you got the sniper. As far as the money line, that's where I find myself. That's where I'll be. Chito Vera for the win. Money line sitting at plus 150. I say he beats Cory Sandhagen, and I really think that Chito Vera is the fucking Mac, man. He's the guy. He's the fucking guy. He's on the come up. And, I mean, he's been a vet/contender for a while now. He's got the loss to Aldo in a very competitive fight. Controversial loss to Song Yadong, which should have been a win. It's Vera. It's the Vera show. I see Vera winning this thing. I'm picking him in the main event. He's going to beat Cory Sandhagen. What an incredible card in San Antonio. We did lose some matchups. Before we do parlays, I want to touch on this. It's very unfortunate that we lost this fight, especially Manuel Torres and Trey Ogden. I was very excited for this matchup. I had the dog in Trey Ogden. Torres unable to fight. I think he wasn't going to win that fight. I thought Ogden was going to pull a submission off against Torres, who hasn't gone rounds before. We'll see if that fight's rebooked or if they go another direction. I think it'll be unfortunate if it isn't rebooked because I think it's a great dog attack potentially with the Trey Ogden side. And tomorrow's Vidal and Cohen was canceled a couple of days ago. Medical issues for Vidal. So Cohen's debut is got to wait. Overall, fun card underway. Let's jump to the parlays and let's talk about some magic. Let's see what we can come up with here for a parlay. All right. Holm, I feel very good about -225. Okay. I'm looking for value. Victor Altamirano, right? Plus money. We got plus 198 now. All right. What else can we add to this slate? Andrea Lee, Maycee Barber over 2.5 rounds. -250. All right. Where else can we go? Do we go with the violent side of a Chidi Njokuani? Why not? Plus 585. Dog money. Daniel Pineda. Also throw him in the line. So we got Holm, Altamirano, the over 2.5 in the Barber Lee fight. Chidi and Daniel Pineda. Plus 2,264. Listen, I attacked this line already. And I'm going fucking ballistic. I think I threw like 56.50 down to make 1,000 something. 1,050, I think. I'll tell you guys on the live stream. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I fucking attacked a wild ass parlay. I'll call it the wild man parlay this week because I don't know. I just got a feeling that you got to go dog hunting sometimes. And I think we found two dogs that are ready to fucking eat on this card. As far as the side of Pineda, you don't want them. I don't want Chidi. Okay, that's fine. Listen, there's still tremendous plays to be made without throwing, the most wildest dogs on the planet in. Or I guess really just one. I do think it's a misread for the bookies, though. I think Pineda's very live. Plus 317, Holm, Victor Altamirano, and the over 2.5 in the Lee Barber fight. Also something that I'm on myself. I do think we can consider some more things. I think CJ Vergara gets a W, plus 490 if you added him in here. I don't think that's a terrible idea. If you're like, listen, I don't want to play the ladies. I don't want to play the over. No problem. Take it off. I think these three fighters, Altamirano, Vergara, and Holm, pretty good shot. If you're not feeling Vergara and you think that meth head Salvador can pull it out, you still got plus 105 for this one. You could add, from earlier in the week, the lock of the week, Njokuani, plus 235. You could add the Landwehr side, plus 405. You're just missing the juice. That's all. You're missing the big, heavy fucking juice, plus 596. Now we're getting fucking ballistic here. I might as well just add Cheeto at the top. Plus 1569. Holy shit. I want to clean the slate real quick. Then I want to do, a dog savagery parlay. All right, let's go. The trifecta of underdog parlay. We got main event, Marlon, Cheeto, Vera, dog money, okay? Let's keep running. Let's add something else to it. Let's go with the side of Victor Altamirano, plus 394, right? And then we're also going to add in an absolute savage vet in Daniel Pineda, plus 1606. And for the hell of it, you know what? Add Manel Kape, plus 2533. I think this one I haven't attacked yet, but fuck, man. This is one that I'm playing after this. After I do this show, I'm about to get off and fucking set this one up because I got to attack this one. Maybe not throwing, $50-something down on it, but I think I'll hit it with a little something. Guys, be cautious with your parlays. 2-3 fighters for your most optimal likelihood of success. Everything else becomes more of a Hail Mary, but ultimately, sometimes we got to look for the jackpot. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn those post notifications on so you don't miss a video. I drop content every single day of the week. It's either a video or a live stream. You don't want to miss it. The Fight Companion tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live for the entire UFC San Antonio card, so make sure you guys tune into that. Let me know what you think of the picks in the comments. Throw me your main event pick. And also, if you have nothing to say, but you just enjoy the content, you want to support me, drop a W in the chat as well. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.